It's Sunday, and you know what that means? It means my tongue has recovered from yesterday's food challenges. Ah, those Jelly Belly hot things are no joke.
Mm-mm.
What do we got on the show today, JFB?
Well, we're going to do the news because there's a lot of news that we need to kind of get through. But we're also going to introduce our new monthly segment where we do the top 10 power rankings of professional wrestling. Career wrestlers, not any of this Mount Rushmore bullcrap. Only guys that are in the ring today.
Where we are sure to ruffle some feathers.
Hell yeah, we're going to ruffle some feathers. We're going to make a lot of people butt sore.
EVP Joe, say the line. Say the line.
Hit that music.
Yeah.
We're clear for takeoff.
That's all systems go. We need that AFW logo up. Stat.
You're watching the AFW Network.
Good afternoon, good morning, afternoon. If I don't see you till later, keep my supper warm. Right in the microwave, my friend. All I got to do is just hit the start button. It turns into an instant hot meal. I am, of course, your chief shenanigans officer and an ice cream scientist. I am the almighty JFB.
So you have an ice cream maker. Do you have an air fryer?
I don't have an air fryer.
So that's what I was wondering, because you said the microwave. Like sometimes things is better in the air fryer.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're definitely, but they're like super expensive right now. I gotta figure out.
You gotta budget what you're gonna use. Yeah. I'm of course the daredevil food scientist himself. I am your Canadian hero. I am the patron saint of professional wrestling. That gingered up, bubbly son of a bitch. I'm Canada effing dry, damn it. So when I say this, you might not know this, so check it out. We did a show called AFW Special, Hot and Spicy with Carolina. So what we did on the show, we did the bamboozled with the two different flavors, the hot, the fiery 5, and then you got the ones that taste like dirty socks. And dishwater I got twice. It literally tastes like soap.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
And and those Carolina Reapers for the Jelly Bellies, they're no joke.
Oh no. I watched it this morning, and I got just one suggestion for the guy that you. What's his name? Your partner,
Bimbo Wizard Clem.
Yeah. You shouldn't drink water. Water actually makes the heat worse.
That was my fault. That was my fault. That's on me. That's on me, dog. That's on me.
I'm telling you,
I don't buy milk.
Yeah. You need to buy milk.
Or you should have had some bread.
My mother told me to buy some yogurt. And I forgot.
Anything that's got lactose in it will work. Because it coats your stomach. And
that's on me for not looking after my friend properly.
I mean, to be fair, did he really need it? Like, he's the spicy peppered king, so you think he wouldn't need it.
You know what? That Reaper kicked his ass.
Yeah. It's no joke.
How is he feeling this morning?
I don't know, but he has spent some time in the bathroom.
Yeah.
After the show.
What made it worse though is that you guys use a air dried Carolina Reaper, which means that you're almost to the point where you're doubling the intensity in the Scoville level. Because when you
not only that, JFP, he took 2 bites of this thing.
Oh yeah.
Instead of 1.
Yeah. He didn't do it in one bite. He did it in 2.
So you essentially did it twice.
I will say, JFB, I made the joke yesterday because when Canada Dry was doing the bamboozled and got 2 Carolinas, I was like, this is definitely his villain origin story.
Yeah.
Yes, right.
Exactly.
Like, no, but it was like, like everyone wants to see the founder of AFW take the hit.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to take the hit on the Reaper itself, but I think I deserved to get the Reapers.
Yeah.
on the Jelly Bellies.
Yeah.
And I got them back to back, which is poetic justice. It's fair. That being said, introduce yourself, sir.
You all know it's me. It's me. It's the EVP here on a sunny Sunday for once.
Yeah.
Don't know if I'll be able to mow my lawn today. Hopefully later in the afternoon, everything will
Is it
dry
still
out.
wet for a little bit?
Oh, we had a massive rainstorm roll through last night for like 15, 20 minutes. Like it was raining sideways. That's how bad it was. So, yeah, hopefully it'll dry out and I can mow my lawn. It already looks like a jungle out front from all the rain that we've had.
It's insane. Basically, what happened is it got over the mountains. It's just clumped all together because we had it where it was periodically all week just raining. Like we get like a couple hours of rain, a couple hours of sun or cloudy, whatever, and then it would start raining again. Like once it got over the mountains, just kind of compacted and just hit right on you guys. So you're welcome. You're welcome.
It's to the point to where I gotta like mow the lawn like at half height and then drop the deck down again and do it a second time.
All right. So
before you get on, the cool thing about doing that with a coworker is I sent it to my boss. I sent
Yep. No shortage of people who want to laugh at your pain is what you're saying.
Yeah, so my boss goes, I can't stop watching.
I will say, can it dry after that first Carolina Reaper jelly bean? Your face turned pretty red.
Yeah.
The underrated is that sour pickle.
See,
now,
I love pickles, and I like warheads. I just don't know how I would like a pickled warhead pickle like that.
Well, the thing about it, the texture. See, that's been sitting there a long time in that pouch.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's had a lot of time to
that
marinate.
pickle was disgusting. It tasted like a dirty sock with sour shit in it. It was horrible.
Yeah, you know what's funny? So Popeyes, the fried chicken place, I don't know if they're still doing it. It must have been a special or something, but they were doing like a pickle-centric deal. And so I laughed at, one of my friends was like, oh my God, because he loves pickles. He's like, oh, you see what Popeyes is doing? I'm like, dude, I've been doing that for like 15 years. I brine my chicken in pickle juice before I fry it or before I do anything with it. It just
That's delicious.
It gives it a bite, which is really good. It's really delicious. So, but I'm not gonna do it with sour pickle juice. That would just be. Well, I might do it for a couple people I don't like, but.
So the pinball wizard said,
yeah.
As far as that, like I got a bunch of these peppers here that I paid for. That are just gonna sit here. Maybe someone stupid enough will come along and like, hey,
rehydrate them.
Rehydrate them.
So that being said, let's get on with the news.
Yeah, let's go to the news. From the four corners of the globe, from our studios to your home, this is FNN, the FN News Network, starring Canada Dry and the JFB.
Okay, so I'm not sure if this is on your news docket, but I want to start out with this.
Okay.
Jacob Fatu, he goes out and says that when he was a child, he was backstage in WWF, WWE, whatever you want to call it, and he lost Yokozuna's Winged Eagle belt.
What?
No. The story gets better. The story gets better. Someone in the comments, we posted this to AEW community, and someone in the comment goes, "That's impossible. He would have been. He was born in 1992. Yokozuna was champion in 1993.
Yeah,
he would have been 1 year old. There's no way a 1-year-old is walking around with his belt and he even remembering it.
I don't know. If any 1-year-old, I believe would be Jacob Fatu.
I can tell you this. I have actually held a legitimate version of the Winged Eagle, and it's heavy.
So no 1-year-old's able to. And he said he lost it He lost it in catering with the cookies and the soda.
He must have been dragging it. If he was grabbing it, he must have just dragged it and just dropped it. I mean, there's no way he's going to hoist that belt. That belt is a good 20+ pound belt. Like, it's a legit weight on that belt.
So I think he pulled a Hogan here.
Yeah. Probably. I'm not going to deny it. So let's get started with the second part of the news. I'm going to have to call it bull crap on that. I don't see a 1-year-old hoisting up Yokozuna's belt. So that belt was specially designed for Yokozuna, so it didn't look small on him. That looked bigger than as big as it was.
So they made a bigger belt for Yokozuna a bit.
Yeah. So in professional wrestling, you have what's called a face turn or a heel turns. When the bad guy turns to a good guy, or the good guy turns into a bad guy. And sometimes it's very subtle differences. Like, for example, John Cena is currently a heel. How you could tell is because the C in the you can't see me that he wears on his hat, normally the red line goes through the C. This time it's behind the C so that you can see Cena. So I have the greatest face, maybe heel turn of all time. John Laurinaitis, my friends. We talked about this briefly on Wednesday night, but I'm going to bring it up because this is very huge. For many, many years, when John Laurinaitis, otherwise known as Ace, realized that he was not a good wrestler, decided to become a producer and started working behind the scenes for WWF, WWE. He is essentially Vince McMahon.
Did he work for WCW or was it just WWE?
He did work for WCW too for a little bit, but he is essentially Vince McMahon's right-hand man. So when all this sexual harassment stuff started coming out and the Janelle Grant case came out, it was against 3 people: WWE, Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis. Earlier last week, or late last week, John Laurinaitis decided, heel turn, face turn, I'm going against Vince. He is siding with the state in the Janelle Grant lawsuit, which means he's going to dish all the dirt on Vince McMahon.
He's essentially saving his own skin is what he's doing.
He's doing it to protect himself. Yes, he will most likely get a reduced sentence if he does get a sentence at all.
No, he won't, because this was dropped with prejudice, which means he can't be charged for this crime ever again.
We had someone on one of the podcasts. I don't know what it was, but Teddy Long, was calling out John Laurinaitis for betraying Vince McMahon.
There's a lot of people who are not happy about this, and it's old school guys. It's not any of the new school guys. It's your very old school guys from the 60s, 70s, and 80s who are calling out John Laurinaitis and saying, what you're doing is not protecting the business. It's not the business anymore. This isn't the wild days of the territories where you could just hop state to state and just commit any crime that you want to and probably get away with it because nobody's going to talk about you or speak out against you.
But the Laurinaitis, Teddy Long was saying, this guy, you built your career on the back of Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
And you're selling him down the river. Vince sold Vince down the river. You don't protect criminal behavior. And if you protect someone, you protect your own criminal behavior. Like, that's...
I have a very big feeling that there's going to be a lot of stuff that we have speculated on for years that is going to come out in the trial. Because John Laurinaitis, I will tell you this, that man can talk. And he can talk for a long time. I went to a signing one time, and he sat there. And before, he was going to do like a 15 or 25 minute, kind of a Q&A back and forth with the host. And then he was going to go to the table to do the signing. This guy droned on for an hour and a half. People power.
He didn't do it for the people. He did it for himself.
He did it for him.
Sprayed the skin on his ass. That's what he did.
He did it for a person himself.
You know what? This tells me that Johnny Ace knew he was going down and that there was enough evidence to put him in prison. It's the only reason why he would do this.
Yeah. Yeah. The whole thing about snitches get stitches. So, yeah.
John Laryngitis.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. If John Laurinaitis went missing, I would not be surprised. Because there has been rumors for years that Vince McMahon has connections with the New York Mafia and one of the five families. I'm not sure if that's true, but if John Laurinaitis all of a sudden disappeared and nobody found him, it wouldn't be a shock. I would not be surprised at all.
Well, wouldn't Laurinaitis know this? Wouldn't he be in the know for that?
I mean, sometimes when you're risking going to jail as a person who SAs someone, you're not the very most popular guy in the prison. You will.
Well, wouldn't Laurinaitis be eligible if this is true? Wouldn't he be eligible for witness protection?
Probably yes, but I don't know. I mean, again, this is just speculation.
Yes and no. I guess it depends on how well known he is. If witness protection would even work for him.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, about 99% of the actual universe doesn't not know who John Laurinaitis is.
Just the wrestling goofballs, right?
I mean, yeah, not wrestling, but I'm just saying just because of how in the public this has been relatively.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I have no.
That's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to this. There are trials that I will follow just because it catches my brain in the right way. Where I'm like, ooh, I have to kind of dig into this and really
days before this.
Yeah.
There's this headlines coming out. Vince McMahon's going to buy back the WWE.
That's not.
No,
Vince McMahon is actually, and it's actually because that's my next story, is Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon is now a partner. I don't know if he's the actual owner, according to what I found and what I've seen in terms of papers, is that former WWE senior person in the company who left started a company called 14th and I, which is an entertainment group based in New York. Vince McMahon is now associated with that. It's not clear if he's the owner, but he's listed as an officer of that company. So this is the company that Vince McMahon is going to use to either get back into wrestling or to get into entertainment media like streaming or whatever the case is. Like he wants to do TV shows or movies. I don't know. It's very unclear because the filing for it is very obtuse and there's really not a lot to get into. But
it's news, so there's not much info.
Yeah. Who wants to talk about our favorite geriatric alcoholic, otherwise known as Ric Flair? You want to talk about pickled? There's a man that's definitely pickled. That man is pure grain alcohol. He doesn't even bleed red. It's like, yeah, it's like.
Are we talking about the tweet?
There are two. Yeah, I have two. One of them is the tweet. One of them is actually the tweet. He talks about JR, Jim Ross, who's going through colon cancer at this point. And he says that Jim Ross is just seeking attention because that's what Jim Ross likes to do. And then walks it back moments later, but says, I'm just kidding.
Deletes the tweet and says, you guys need to lighten up. I'm just making a comment to.
Yeah.
It's always I'm joking when you get called out for your crap takes and your horrible treatment of people.
Now, if he's actually saying this as a joke, you could say this. It's just kidding, JR. We all love you.
Yeah.
But
that's how you do it.
He went out and attacked everybody instead of a mea culpa. He needs to just disappear. Just fade out of the sunlight or the spotlight. I mean,
well, and it's funny because not long after that, he tweeted or posted a picture of a sexual consent form that you and your lady friend can sign because it's sealed and documented by Ric Flair himself. Because, as I quote, there have been many, many women who have taken a ride on Space Mountain.
So he's selling these?
No, he's just giving them away. He just has it as a picture, and it's literally just a sexual consent form between two people, certified by Ric Flair.
I kind of want it, just because. Can you sign this, please?
Talk about someone who just tweets to be the center of attention. Maybe you should
Not that or so. Like I can see if you were like trying to do a business, like why not? But just give them away.
Yeah. So,
Sorry. But
yeah.
selling these sexual activity forms isn't a business.
No, it's not. And in reality, you can stamp anything you want to, but unless you're an actual notary, it doesn't
It
really
don't
hold
mean
up in
nothing.
court. So a video came out a couple days ago from Zoe Stark. Zoe Stark did announce that she is retiring from professional wrestling at this point,
Oh, I
and
missed it.
then decides she's going to throw some people under the bus. Now, I have tried to find the full video, and I have not been able to. The only video that I found is that she calls out Kairi Sane by saying, I don't have a beef with you, but when you do see me, you're always going to be known as Kairi Payne because you made me injured. And she kind of went into describing how her drop kick wouldn't have worked and against Kairi Sane because of the way Kairi Sane is body-wise, size-wise, also how she moves. And that's the reason what caused
So
her.
Tony Stark, she have a concussion?
No, she didn't even hit her. She didn't even. I mean, she took out her one of her legs because her other leg was buckled behind her.
Right.
So it kind of swooped up Kairi Sane, and she.
I'm
fell
shocked.
down.
Like she's calling it a day on her career, like so quickly.
I think it's a. To be honest with you, I think it's a work. I don't think it's legit. I think it's a work. I think she's going to take
That
time.
makes sense. She's going to come back out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Maybe it's the same
just
thing.
needed-
Maybe it's the same thing that Jeff Cobb did, retiring the name Zoe Starks, and they'll come back. She'll come back as something else.
I just called her Tony Starks. I just realized.
Well, what's really funny is that she's had 2 previous knee surgeries on this same knee. This is now her 3rd ACL surgery on the same knee. Now, I can
Maybe
tell
she
you,
should.
It's possible it's not a work.
it's possible it's not work because I've had 1 ACL surgery. I tore my ACL clean. And I can tell you this, that it's no joke. My doctor has told me multiple times the risk of getting your ACL, that same ACL surgery again, or have it torn again is like 1,000,000 to 1. Like the way that it's done and the way it's grafted currently right now, it's almost impossible to do it again. However, Zoe Stark has done it 3 times now. So I don't.
But you're also not doing the bumps that she's doing.
Oh no, I'm not. No, I mean I trip over my own feet at this point. So
Yeah.
you know. Let's go to who watched Triple Mania last night? None of you? None of you?
Did not.
So let's talk about the main event. It is Alberto El Patron, otherwise known as Alberto Del Rio, your favorite sexual offender. And he's fighting El Hijo de Vikingo. So this is for the AAA Mega Champion. That is their World Heavyweight Champion.
Is the belt the same still? Did
It
they
is
change
the same. Yeah.
They don't change designs.
I
They
know.
just keep them.
Well, I'm just thinking because of WWE owning.
No.
WWE doesn't own them yet. The acquisition is still in progress.
Oh,
It won't be
So, yeah,
until
while they're under contract to WWE.
They still have to finalize the deal, which
Okay,
is nothing but just putting pen to paper and making sure that your American dollar versus the pesos is correct. So that everybody's paid.
So AAA is a publicly traded company, right? Because it's CMLL, that's the private company.
Correct.
So does that mean that the Mexican government has to okay the sale?
Nope.
No. Okay.
Nope.
I don't know.
Yeah, I looked into it too, and no, they don't. The Mexican government has no rights over whether or not AAA can sign themselves to an American.
Does
government.
the American government do this?
No.
Okay.
The only time the American government will get involved is in the case of a monopoly.
Yeah.
And then they'll because they did this when Disney bought Fox.
Yeah.
They made Disney divest certain parts of Fox so they wouldn't be considered a monopoly.
Yeah. Mostly
Yeah,
their
the
news.
Canadian government does this as well when there's a monopoly.
Well, what's so funny about this is that this match and the outcome was not a surprise. It was actually spoiled 2 weeks earlier when the WWE made official that Chad Gable was gonna go against Vikingo. The graphic that they showed was Vikingo with the Mega Champion belt over his shoulder,
Saying it was for the AAA Mega title.
The match took off. WWE spoils a whole lot of stuff. They spoiled CM Punk's return before Survivor Series. they just don't know what they're doing.
Well, I don't think they don't care about the surprise anymore. They want to get all eyes on the product. They don't care about surprise.
Yeah. But they basically blew that's the reason why I didn't buy the pay-per-view. I already knew who was going to win because there's no way WWE is going to bring Alberto El Patron or Alberto Del Rio back.
But he's under contract to WWE.
Well, they might bring him back, but there's no way they're going to have him be a champion.
Yeah.
So the what I've been able to figure out is that once WWE and AAA actually seal the initial deal, all contracts have to go through WWE, and WWE will make the decision whether or not WWE, but TKO will make the decision as to whether or not your contract from AAA will be accepted by and used by WWE, which means WWE has the authority to get rid of anybody they don't want to, like, say, your favorite sexual offender, Alberto Del Rio. So
I will say though, I saw a video and I didn't realize, but I looked through the comments and apparently this ending got a boo. Like people were booing this. Now I don't know if it was because the Kingo winning. I can't imagine. Maybe it's because they know this is WWE influence all over the match.
Yeah,
could be one of those. But yeah.
So so we got that. Guess who is? So we got three people we got two and maybe a third that are no longer going to be with AEW. Abaddon earlier in the week said that her contract was up. She is a free agent. Bear Bronson came out and said his last day was Friday, and he is no longer. He is now officially on Saturday a free agent for.
So he's not the guy that was the Predator at all.
No, he's the one who got screwed over by that guy.
Yeah, he's pretty much out of the deal because his partner fucked up.
Yeah, but Mariah May is no longer on AEW's roster page. Which
she's still under contract to AEW at this time.
She still is under contract, but she is not on the page now. Whether this is just a tactic by Tony Khan to kind of hide the fact that they're trying to get her to resign, whether she's going to WWE, which is the rumor, and that seems to be the persistent truth.
This could be a work, though, possibly, like MJF did.
Yeah.
I will say, if she is leaving, Tony Khan missed a big opportunity, and he should have had Mariah May put over Mina Shirakawa on the way out.
Yeah, I agree. So
yeah, I think he gets. I don't want to have someone who's out the door.
Look, I absolutely get it. If you're not invested in the company, I'm not going to invest in you and give you TV time. I understand that, but sometimes I think an exception should be made.
Well, I think the old school tradition of putting someone over on your way out should be how they do it. Go do the match. Go do this. You're not going to win, but you'll be on TV.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with all of this. Speaking of JR, Jim Ross, his name was uttered by Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy talked about on his podcast that he says that Jim Ross wanted basic storytelling and better selling, which makes me kind of wonder what exactly JR's title was outside of just commentary. Like, was he booking AEW talent until he kind of just got pushed out to the side?
You got JR. You might as well use him as much as you can. He's a smart guy.
Yeah, but the problem is you have the business is different. Your audience is different. How they interact is different. It's not the same as it was during the Attitude Era. You know, you have social media as a major force that a lot of promotions are using to go and create storylines and continue storylines with, tweets and Facebook posts back and forth and all this other stuff. It makes me wonder exactly how much power JR actually had at AEW, because I do feel that.
Are we going to get into the R-Truth thing?
What R-Truth thing?
He was released.
You didn't hear?
R-Truth was released?
Well, he's not released, he's not being re-signed at the end of his contract, which I believe is at the end of this month of June.
Okay.
Of Joe, May or June?
I think it's June.
We'll see.
I could be. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Wow, that wasn't even on the news sites.
It literally just broke like a half hour before the
posted
podcast.
before we went on the air.
Oh, okay. I mean, hey, R-Truth. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't like R-Truth in WWE. Like, I love his character, but I want to see Ron Killings come back. I want to see this.
This is what I said, and I even if he wants to retire and go do his music, cool. I need a month stint of R-Truth in AEW thinking he's part of the Hurt Syndicate. Just for the comedy between him and MJF alone would be great.
I wouldn't mind if it was longer than a month.
No, I wouldn't either.
But either way, I want to see this. I think it would be hilarious.
I want to see Ron Killings show up Dynamite and call it Monday Night Raw. and then, my bad. This is on me.
Yeah, I think it would be hilarious if he walked up to TK and said, "Hey, you Vince, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go down to the ramp and go to the ring. I'll see you in a few minutes." And he just leaves, you know. And the next thing you know, you see Ron Killings. So I want to do one more thing. So MVP has been, I don't know why, but MVP has been on any and every podcast he could get on lately. He was asked the question that I'm sure most wrestlers get and most wrestlers hate, which is, what is your Mount Rushmore of professional wrestlers? So he talked about Macho Man, and then the person that was interviewing him on the podcast said, well, what do you think about Hulk Hogan? Do you think Hulk Hogan deserves it? He goes, no. And for obvious reasons, he does not belong on the Mount Rushmore. And obviously it's because of a touch of racism that Hulk Hogan has.
Just a little touch.
He's a skosh. Which kind of, it's funny because I listened to I read I saw the news story, I pulled it, and I went and listened to the podcast. It's interesting because you have this very big question: where is Hulk Hogan's legacy when it comes to the history of professional wrestling? Because professional wrestling has always been a business that goes in waves, So like you had the big part of the 80s, and you had the golden age of wrestling in WWF and the NWA and WCW, and then it kind of crashed down, and they had kind of a slow momentum before they got into the Attitude Era. That was your next big wave. I don't know where you put Hulk Hogan at this point, and to be honest with you, like I don't. It's hard to decide whether or not Hulk Hogan.
I have a question for you, Jeff. Are you a big baseball fan?
I'm a huge baseball fan.
Now, don't we have some legends that were known racists?
Oh, you do. Absolutely. 100%.
Like I don't know if Babe Ruth was or not, but
no, he was just a wife beater and drug.
Yeah, there you go. Like but when you say Babe Ruth, you don't think of a wife beater.
No.
You think of the
you know why? Because Major League Baseball has done a phenomenal job of advertising him as Mr. Baseball for that time.
Well, I mean, like, for example, like you have the Yankees who for four decades plus owned the Boston Red Sox. The Boston Red Sox were the last team in Major League Baseball to end segregation. They had an all-white team because the city of Boston, I love my city. It is one of the most beautiful cities in the world.
But there's a reason you left. No, just kidding.
It is as racist as hell. Now, Boston today is very different than it was when I was growing up. The Boston that I grew up in, there was segregation. There were white families in the white suburbs or in the white parts of the cities, like South Boston, where I grew up.
Are we talking there was like segregation in the 80s?
Yeah.
In Boston.
They were fighting segregations in schools into the late 70s. They didn't want black kids being bussed into South Boston because they were afraid that, they'd have to accept black people in their neighborhood.
And that makes sense why the best player on the Boston Celtics was Larry Bird, a white guy.
But so I mean, yeah, it's hard. I mean, here's the thing: I'm not going to celebrate the Yankees in any way, shape, or form, and nor are they in the Baseball Hall of Fame because they were Marge Schott from Cincinnati Reds, also very famous for being a racist. I mean, it's hard to it's hard to separate Hulk Hogan, the character, from Terry Bollea, the racist. It's hard to separate those two because the problem with Hulk Hogan is unless he's in court testifying, he is Hulk Hogan.
I was
When
like,
he was
there
in
really
court,
is. It's like there is no Terry Bollea, really.
he's gone.
He is Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. He has taken over the mantle as I am going to be Hulk Hogan. I'm not going to be Terry Bollea.
Which is funny because that's exactly what happened to Bruce Banner and Hulk. Hulk just took over.
There you go. There you go.
Hey, so real quick before we get to our power rankings, I found this post on Facebook that I want to talk to you guys about real quick.
Do it.
It is the world champions as of June 1st, 2021. So 4 years ago. I just want to read off this list of champions and see how things have changed. Ready?
Yeah.
So the WWE champion was Bobby Lashley. The Universal champion was Roman Reigns. Karrion Kross was the NXT champion. Rush was the ROH World Champion.
Mm-hmm.
Shingo Takagi was the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. Nick Aldis was the NWA World Heavyweight Champion. And Kenny Omega was the AEW, TNA, and AAA Champion. Like, It's just crazy to see how many people aren't with their respective promotions anymore. Or
I mean, that's huge. I mean, if you really think about it, that's a pretty big turnover. Like most companies will not be able to survive this.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. I just thought it would be fitting to talk about before we got into our main event of the day.
Well, you know what? What the hell? Let's just get into the main event.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
This is the main event of the evening.
All right.
So we're gonna get that banner going here, JFB.
I'm ready. There we go. I'm ready. We got to just type it in. So we are going to do a new monthly segment, and it's called the AFW Network's Top 10 Power Rankings. Now, these are all based off of wrestlers who are currently wrestling today. And I think we should just open it up to everywhere. Japan.
Yeah, it's open everywhere, but it's gonna be hard to upset like AEW or WWE star because they get all the spotlights.
That is true. Yeah. I mean, and you know, what's so great about where we are today, 2025, June 1st, 2025, is that wrestling is at your fingertips. If you want to get into Japanese wrestling, subscribe to New Japan Pro Wrestling World.com or go and do, you know, the one that does Noah and all that other stuff. You know, you have AEW that's on Max. You have WWE that's on Peacock and Netflix. Like, you have the ability to get wrestling into your digestive system of watching, and you can watch virtually anything, which is so awesome. But that opens it up because there's guys that are wrestling on the Indies or wrestling at Maple Leaf or wrestling in New Japan that you can start saying, hey, this guy is legit. Like, this guy or this girl can easily.
Well, let's be right. It's not about wrestling ability. It's
right.
about who's hot and who's got the biggest spotlight right now and who's got a momentum.
Yeah. And I'll tell you right now, New Japan is flat. It is flat. I have actually ended my subscription on the 31st because it's just boring.
So the other thing that what we're going to do is we hash out this top 10.
Yeah.
Is everyone gets one challenge if you don't like what someone's picking here.
Yeah.
Then we're going to put it to a vote. And if your pick is voted out, they got to pick again. And this guy can't be on the list. So be careful.
That's true. All right, so we are going to go with number 10. And I believe Canada Dry, you have the opening salvo, my friend.
Number 10, I'm going to go with Jon Moxley, the AEW World Champion. Last month, I wouldn't have put him on the list.
Yeah.
But the story that they're telling right now has been revitalized by the Young Bucks and by the fact that we might finally see that AEW World Title again that Jon Moxley has been locking up in a briefcase. So my number 10 pick, unless someone challenges it for the power rankings, is Jon Moxley.
Okay.
I think that's a good
Challenges?
pick. No.
I mean, to be honest with you, I would have put him at 11. I'm not going to challenge it because I mean, he is a world champ, and he is the world champion in the second biggest promotion in the United States, and basically at this point around the world, and that's AEW. He is AEW's world champion. He has to have a place on there. I don't agree with the whole. I think the storytelling is horrible. I think it was flatlined for a while, and I think it's gotten a couple of blips up and down because of the Young Bucks and Hangman Page and all this other stuff, because we are coming to a conclusion. Hangman Page is going to beat Jon Moxley. He's just going to. Because you need to get the Bucks now and the Elite involved with this. And they've already started. They planted the seeds with Swerve accusing Hangman Page of working with the Bucks. So we have that seedling. It's sprouting out of the ground. You guys just water it down. Let it grow into a big oak tree.
Hey, Joe, what do you guys say about Jon Moxley on the power ranking?
Yeah, I think that's a good one. I mean, he's had great matches.
Yeah.
His cage match with Joe, his singles match, like the trios match with Joe where they dropped the titles. I mean, he's even working with like Powerhouse Hobbs at the pay-per-view, giving him the rub. Like, I have no problem putting him at 10.
Jon Moxley, I'm not sure it was month of May with the way we defended against Swerve or not.
Yeah.
Was it May or was it the month before?
That was April. That was April at Dynasty.
That match was amazing too.
Yeah. All right. Number 10 is Jon Moxley. EVP Joe, you go next.
Okay. I told Canada Dry I'm doing this. But my number 9, my first pick, or my first draft for number 9, I'm giving it to Vikingo, El Hijo del Vikingo, simply because he beat Alberto El Patron, but he also won the AAA title. I think that's a pretty big deal. So,
Vikingo, I'm not challenging it, but JFB might. We're waiting for him to come back. But Vikingo is an absolute stud. And it's cool. I like this pick because it puts AAA on the map here.
did you hear what I said, JFB?
Oh, I heard you.
Okay.
I heard you.
Do you have
Are you challenging this?
I'm not going to challenge it, and here's the reason why. Because right now, Vikingo is hot. I mean, he literally is your AAA champion. AAA is probably, I would consider to be third or fourth in power rankings for promotions. I like where AAA is right now. They have let go of a lot of talent. They have brought back a couple guys. La Parca is one of them that's now back in wrestling with AAA. It's kind of interesting because you have Penta. You have, Penta might be able to go back to being called Pentagon Jr. because that is owned by AAA. They own that name. So we might see Pentagon Jr. again. Ray Phoenix is AAA as well. So, I mean, you got a lot of stuff that's going on. I don't have a problem with it. I would have put him 10th, but I don't have a problem putting
Bret Hart he likes that shirt.
He likes that shirt.
What do you think about this shirt?
I love that shirt. But yeah, I'm digging it. I like Vikingo at number 9. I like it. So now it's my turn. Oh boy, this one's gonna get eaten alive. I can just feel it right now. I'm gonna go with your Universal Heavyweight Champion of WWE. I am going with the man on his last ride. I am going with John Cena at number 8.
John Cena.
You gotta, here's the thing. You have 2 roads that are getting ready to turn into one. Yeah, it's like 2 merging into one. John Cena is on his last run as a wrestler. And from the interview that he had with Stephanie McMahon on her ESPN show, whether or not it's work, he talks very passionately that, yes, I am leaving December 31st. I am not going to wrestle anymore. Like, he is very adamant about it. Now, I've looked at his production calendar, what's in production right now. He's got a lot of stuff lined up. So the likelihood is December 31st is going to be his last year full-time wrestling, or at least at this point, just wrestling, period. And he's your Universal Champion, which means that at this point, it's time for Cody Rhodes to start doing another chase to get the championship, which always makes for interesting storytelling, because at some point, John Cena's got to start putting obstacles in front of Cody Rhodes, so it leads up to whatever the pay-per-view is in December that they're going to wrestle. Because John Cena is going to be your champ until the very end. There's just no two doubts about it. He is going to be your champion until the end of the year. And he'll lose to Cody Rhodes at some point, whether it's New Year's Day or whatever the case is. He's going to lose, but he is going to stay champion, which means you are going to have to endure months and months and months of really bad matches.
But the moment that he loses to Cody Rhodes, that's like a passing of the torch moment.
Oh, very much so.
Is it though? I mean, Cody already beat Reigns.
No, but there's
That
something
should have been
about
the passing
losing.
of the torch moment.
There's something about losing to the guy that you're kind of taking. You're kind of leading the company now. It's this passing of the torch. It's this the thing that Hogan never did for Brett.
The thing that Hogan never did for anybody.
No.
All right, what is your number 7?
My number 7 is Jey Uso.
I
It's
called
just
it.
me, Us.
I'm challenging.
You're challenging.
I'm
Okay,
gonna
take it off
challenge.
the list if you're going to challenge.
Okay.
Well, I think before you challenge, I think we should hear Canada Dry as to why he should be 7.
Yeah, lay it on.
And then
Okay,
JFP,
okay.
you can rebut.
Yeah, you rescind your challenge and wait till
Okay.
Jey Uso is hot. The booking is not, but he's got that crowd eating out of his hand. Like, I'm not saying Jey Uso is the best wrestler.
Yeah.
I'm saying that crowd loves him. They love saying yeet. I think Jey Uso, like, this is the biggest time in his career. If he's not on the spotlight, he never will be.
Yeah.
So I honestly think he's worthy of this power ranking, JP.
Man, here's the thing. And like, this is a little bit of old school.
And like, number 7 is not that high.
Yeah, but in top 10, I mean, you think about how many wrestlers on WWE, AEW's roster.
But you might lose this challenge.
Ugh.
It's not guaranteed you're going to win.
My problem
I'm going to say my vote can be bought, is all I'm saying.
my problem is this. If Jey Uso was the IC champ or the US or a tag team champ, I have no problem with this, putting him at 7.
But he's the world champ. That's why he is on the list.
He's not wrestling like a world champ. He's not wrestling at
No,
all.
it's not about wrestling. It's about spotlight and how much fans love him. And it's the merch he sells.
I don't know. All right, I'm gonna resend my.
All right, there we go. Yeah.
He's a world champ. You got it. You got to put him
No,
on.
but also you got your point that you're like begrudgingly.
Yeah, I mean, my problem is that your world champ should be your best wrestler. He should be the one that has to carry that torch, because right now you have John Cena, who's wrestling on a limited schedule as the other world champion. Cody Rhodes has just gotten back into the scheme of things. Now you have Jey Uso and Gunther. I don't know why we're rehashing this. I think Gunther needs to move on to something else before he starts challenging for the belt again. I think it's kind of weird that it feels like Gunther's just being forced.
We also chose a rough month to do this.
Yeah. You're right.
Because
You're right.
Right
because,
after Mania, and there's this transition.
Yeah. All right.
Which is also interesting because next month we're going to be seeing where these people fall. We're going to have to do a double thing. Like this
I
guy
think
was here last week. Now he's off the list completely or something like that.
I think August will be the really fun one because we'll be coming off of both All In and Money in the Bank. That's when we'll really, I think, have a hard time doing a top 10.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to Joe, number 6, my friend.
Okay. I'm going to ask you, tag teams, yay or nay?
No.
No tag teams? Okay.
Really?
I think eventually we can do our own power ranking when the tag divisions get hot. We can do our own.
Okay.
Oh, gosh. So where are we at? Number 6?
Number 6.
And the stakes get higher as we go along, too.
I want to say name, but I don't know if it's too low for him or not is the issue. You know what? No, we're going to go this way. I'm going to go with Jacob Fatu at number 6, the U.S. champion, and he is clearly on a collision course with Solo. They're really teasing it backstage with Solo getting involved in his matches, and Jacob Fatu is like, "How many times have I told you I don't need your help?" Yeah. Clearly, we're on a collision course between these two with JC Mateo on the outside.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. The realism is that this is the most horrid storyline that they're doing with Jacob Fatu. This has been writing on the wall the minute Jacob Fatu entered into the picture with Solo Sikoa. I mean, a blind and deaf guy knows this is coming. That's how blatantly obvious it is, and it creates bad storytelling. Like, we get it. Like, it should have. We know it's happening. They're not doing it well enough to sell it. Like, I really don't want to see Jacob Fatu fight Solo Sikoa. I would rather see Solo Sikoa fight to get out of a pit of alligators buttered up like a turkey. Like, I don't want to see Solo Sikoa anymore. I'd rather have
Solo on the list, though. Okay, we're good.
I don't want anything. I want Jacob Fatu to start getting fed real opponents, like real legitimate guys, like Gunther,
like Goldberg in his last match.
God, that happens. I'm not
watching. Speaking of Goldberg, they're doing this Saturday night's main event in July, and Sean Ross Sapp is speculating that will be where Goldberg's retirement match is.
Well, it's in Atlanta.
Exactly.
Goldberg lives.
Right.
Goldberg has a residence in Atlanta. By the way, let's talk about his son for a second.
You know what they should do? They should have Bret Hart be the special guest referee.
He super kicks him in the head.
And he screws Goldberg out of the win.
No, I just want Gunther to go and destroy him wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
But Jacob Fatu, let me just say this. All gas, no brakes.
Yep.
A little bit of a storyteller as far as his childhood goes. But the guy's a star. He's going to be a world champion.
Yeah.
To me,
absolutely. It would be stupid for you not to put that on him. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm going to do mine. This is number 5.
The flag on the plate. No, just kidding.
I am going to go with Dirty Dom.
Whoa!
He's your Intercontinental Champion. He has a 3-way triangle. He's got kind of a triangle, love triangle going on with Liv Morgan and now Roxanne Perez. Like, that doesn't make sense, but he's kind of hot right now. Like, he's not getting booed as much as he used to, or at least they're not piping in the boos through the sound system at this point. He's your Intercontinental Champion. And his last 2 or 3 matches have actually been very good. Like, he's come a long way. And it's obvious he's putting in the work. It's obvious that he is trying to not get close to where his father is in terms of status, in terms of wrestling ability, but like his last 2 or 3 matches have not been last 2 or 3 title defenses have not been bad. I'm going Dom. I'm going to go with Dirty Dom.
PvP, are you challenging this?
Every bone in my body says I should, but I kind of agree with JFB. Like, the guy has put in a ton of work, and he is night
My
and
only
day.
issue is he should be higher.
You mean lower on the list?
Yeah, like closer to 10. But
Yeah.
Dirty Dom is hot. The fans love him.
Yeah.
And that's what this is all about. It's who's hot and who can get a push. And like he's on WWE TV all the time.
He is. Yeah.
Like
just
they're
don't
giving him like more attention than Finn Balor, who's a hell of a wrestler.
I will say this: they need to stop with the love triangles with him. It's been like that for 3 years. That's getting old.
Yeah. I mean, you can only go so far with a porn mustache and a mullet, and be taken seriously as the Lothario of WWE.
You guys see Noob's comment?
Oh yeah, let's put that in. Stephanie Valcourt goes to Raw, which is true. She is on the main roster for Raw, and takes Dom Mysterio away from Roxanne Prison.
No, what they should do, they should have her try, but she's speaking Spanish. Dominic, I don't understand what she's talking about.
Yeah.
But you have like the subtitles below, so everyone can understand. But Dom's like, what is she saying?
Yeah. What's funny is that I watched Dom's interview with Stephanie McMahon on her show, and I thought what was really cool is that on his fingers he has Lucha Libre legends, including some of his godfathers. So which I thought was kind of endearing. Like, you know, the kid grew up in the business. I mean, there's no two doubts.
Sorry, I have to, like Bret Hart's talking. We have to acknowledge.
Oh, I want to see. I mean, here's the thing. I want to see Karrion Kross more than just about anybody. But him running his mouth is probably not best for business. Calling out your own promotion, your own company, which is not really technically owned by anybody but a huge conglomerate.
I think it's work, though. I think that's all the work.
I don't know.
Mixed with a little bit of truth.
I mean, I've heard his shoot interviews before, and they sound just like what he's saying right now. Like, that man does not give a shit about whether or not you care what he thinks.
Is it a work? Yes, but I imagine it's rooted in truth.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's the best kind of best kind of story you can do.
Yeah. All right, Canada Dry. You got number 4, my friend.
Number 4. I'm getting to Seth freaking Rollins.
Okay.
Seth is doing some of the best work of his career with this heel turn.
Yeah.
What does he call that group? The Architect or whatever?
I have no idea what they're calling.
I don't know.
Architect. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they haven't really said it too much on WWE. I've seen some memes and stuff, but
yeah.
But yeah, I like that group. I like Seth Rollins leading that group. I think he's doing a good job.
Yeah. I think Seth Rollins is doing probably his best work ever. Like, I think he's doing the best work since the heist of the century. I think he has kind of dipped down and he kind of went up and he goes down and up again. Like, he's not consistently baseline. You know, he has these great runs and then he has these horrible runs. And I think right now Seth Rollins is doing the best work he's done since the heist of the century, or even since his Shield days.
Yeah, since he broke up from the Shield. This is his best work.
I don't know. I think it's probably more, and maybe I'm getting my timelines wrong, but when he was Monday Night Rollins and he was the Intercontinental Champion, doing like an hour-long gauntlet match, I loved his work then. Yeah.
Bernard says J&J Security got upgraded to B&B Security.
Yeah. Very much.
And you know what? I guarantee you the upgrade will be way more effective.
Yeah. I mean, I would have put him a little bit higher, and closer to 1. I think he's doing. I think he's probably one of the best wrestlers right now wrestling today. I think you can easily put him in the top 2 with the work that he's doing, because he is doing amazing work, and he's not even wrestling, and he's doing amazing work. You know, and I think in all honesty, he takes Money in the Bank. I think it would be stupid not to put that.
I think that'd be smart.
Yeah, and let him just.
And then he would be going right back to his old days in just as he left the Shield if he won it.
Yeah. So, all right, Joe.
I will say they need to stop referring to Seth Rollins as the future.
Yeah.
The man's been there for like 15 years. There's nothing future about him.
Yeah.
The present.
Okay, where are you on number 3?
Number 3.
There's the big pick here, Joe.
So ironically, I made a list of wrestlers who I thought should be on this list.
Yeah.
And every one of them has been said, except for the 3 that I have left here. So let's see how it goes. But my number 3 is going to Will Ospreay.
Okay.
He puts on phenomenal matches. Yes, he lost to Hangman Page, but that match was phenomenal. He's still over. And just from what he's done the last 2 weeks, trying to galvanize basically AEW's Avengers to go against the Death Riders, that story is going to be great and phenomenal once that comes to fruition. So that's why I'm saying Will Ospreay.
Now, are you mentioning the 3-headed dragon? Is that where you're going with this?
Basically, yeah. And even still, like, I love what happened. I didn't watch it. I saw highlights. But what happened last night on Collision, they're teasing another match between Will and Swerve.
Yeah.
That I'd love to see that again.
I absolutely adore Will Ospreay. He's the whitest meat baby face you can ever get.
Yeah.
He's right there with Cody Rhodes in that sort of respect.
Yeah.
For the month of May.
Yeah.
Will Ospreay deserves this number 3 spot.
Yeah. I'm going to be straight up. I think he's doing better work than Cody Rhodes has ever done as a babyface.
I think, I could probably agree with that.
Yeah. I think right now, when you think who's the best face in the business right now, who has the best chance of showcasing other talent while he's eating some L's and still looks like, because you're going to put him on, he's right now on a rocket ship and it is already out of space. Like, it's not in our atmosphere at this point. This man is working on a different level, and he is basically the personification of what a wrestling face needs to be. He's going to get punched, kicked, dropped on his freaking neck and back for like the next 6 months, because he's going to have to chase Hangman Page. And Hangman Page is going bad. I'm telling you right now. I told it on Wednesday, and I'm solidifying it now. Hangman Page is going to turn heel, and at the end of the year, that's when you're going to see Will Ospreay win. He will win at Wrestle Dream. You have to get Hangman Page.
I don't think so, JP. I think it's going down like this. I think Hangman Page is going to turn.
Mm-hmm.
Because he did not deny the Bucks' claims.
That is true.
He did not deny it.
Yeah.
I think Swerve is going to help him win and get screwed over. And Swerve is going to start a second feud with Hangman Page and get the belt and then lose it to Will Ospreay.
I don't see it. You can't use him as a transitional champion. Hangman Page, you can't, because I think Hangman Page right now
he'll have the belt.
Yeah.
For a good 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
And then Swerve will have it for the rest of the year, and then they loses that at Wembley Stadium.
Oh, okay. Is it official? They're going back to Wembley next year?
Nothing's been announced.
Not official.
Okay.
But,
I mean, that's good storytelling.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't deny it.
That's what I'm thinking. But for your number 2 pick, I don't know if you're going to pick him. But whose house?
Not Swerve's house. Number 2 is going to Hangman Adam Page.
Whoa.
I'm going to go ahead and tell you why. Let me get a punch.
Time out. If I challenge this, is he allowed to be picked at
He's
number 1?
not allowed on the list again. He's off the list.
You screwed him.
Well, we don't agree with where he is.
That's messed up, JFB.
Here's the reason why I'm picking. I have not been I have not been a 100% fan of Hangman Page. His days in New Japan, his days on the Indies, I've not been a big fan of Hangman Page. I thought he was a good wrestler with a good gimmick. And when he came to AEW, it seemed like they didn't know where to put him. It was like the square peg it's like a square peg in a round hole. It just doesn't fit. You can hammer it, but it's just not going to go through. And that was my problem. His initial AEW championship run was bad. It was bad. I call it the dark time of AEW.
We're not talking about the past, though. We're talking about current.
Currently, right now, this man is doing amazing work. The Ospreay match at whatchamacallit, Double or Nothing was amazing. I consider it one of the best main events that they have had in the last 2 or 3 years. I think Hangman Page is building a temple of awesomeness right now, and he's doing it stone by stone by stone by stone, slowly building it up for his eventual turn as a heel.
Well, you know what I like about I wouldn't have went this way.
Yeah,
I would have went Swerve at number 2. But what I like about this is Hangman can be number 1 next month.
Yeah,
Possibly.
He should be number 1 this month.
Well, it's consensus. So,
Now there ain't no consensus about that.
well, no one tells me we can't put Hangman off the list. So,
yeah. I mean, ultimately, what it really comes down to is it comes down to I don't think he is at the same level that Swerve's at. Because Swerve, only thing Swerve ever had.
Wait, let me pick number 1 here.
Okay, well, hold on. I'm justifying number 2 versus I know your number 1 is Swerve. I mean,
don't give it away.
the problem, and I think the reason why Swerve should be number 1 is because Swerve doesn't even have to wrestle. The second his music plays and Prince Nana comes out, and then eventually Swerve comes out, the place goes nuts. I was at Blood and Guts last year, and it's insane. Every single person was on their feet when Swerve came out. They weren't on their feet for the Bucks or the Elite. They weren't on their feet for the other guys on the other side. But the second that Swerve came out, that place in Nashville exploded. And everybody was singing, and everybody was doing the Swerve dance. It just went bonkers. And Swerve has his own shoe.
Okay, so with my number 1 pick, let's make it official.
Wait, hold on. Let me just say, real quick. When it comes to Hangman Page, it's going to be hard for him to turn heel when he's still a heel. I don't care that he comes out the heel side of the ramp. He acts like a heel. He may say, "Oh, thank you, fans," but when it comes to what he did on Wednesday, that's absolute heelish activity.
Yeah.
It's not babyface material.
Yeah.
But you could say the same as Swerve.
Yeah.
We're not talking about Swerve turning heel, are we?
Oh, that's true. All right, so let's get to the number 1 pick.
To be honest, go ahead. Do your number 1 pick.
Let's get to the number 1 pick. It is Swerve Strickland. I would have had him number 2, but gotta have him on the list. Number 1 makes sense for this reason, though. He had a really big month.
Yeah,
leading the Anarchy Arena team.
Yeah,
you had Hangman come out and cut a promo, mention Swerve.
Yeah,
he's not even part of the that segment, and everyone's going Swerve's house just because he mentioned Swerve's name.
Yep.
He's got the sneakers.
He's got some of the best-selling merch on ProWrestlingTees.com. He's one of their top sellers.
Like this is the 3-headed dragon that forget the pillar bullshit. I like this 3-headed dragon thing. Swerve, Will, and Hangman.
Yeah. I mean, Swerve, here's the thing. Whether Swerve becomes a heel or a face, it won't matter. It's not going to change. The fans are going to go ballistic. Like, for example, John Cena turns heel and everybody boos. I'm watching SmackDown last night, and on hard camera, there's a lot of John Cena people with John Cena shirts, John Cena hats, wristbands, whatever John Cena sells. There are a lot of fans that are wearing Cena stuff. And the same will happen with Swerve. The initial time that Swerve turns heel, if he ever does, eventually he will. I mean, it's just the nature of the business. You don't always stay a face all the time. You're not Rey Mysterio and you're not Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Yeah, those are the only two.
Yeah, you are eventually going to go heel because that's just the way the business works. You may have a week or two where he gets booed because he did something bad or he did something wrong, and then all of a sudden everyone's going to start doing the Swerve dance again because that's how over Swerve is. This man might be bigger than the business. He's got an amazing music career. He's producing music for other rappers, all while he's wrestling a full-time schedule. And his mama's house got burned down. So,
it wasn't a prop or anything.
Swerve right now is one of the hottest things in the business, and he doesn't even have to come out and wrestle.
Okay, so I'm a Swerve mark.
Yeah.
I'll admit that. But I wanted him number 2 for the record. I don't want him saying like Aaron just pushed his favorite to the front.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, to me, like I said, I don't think Swerve can do any wrong. I think that the way they have Swerve positioned, it makes sense. Whether he's a face, whether he's a heel, whether he's a tweener, which I think he is kind of right now. He's kind of a face with an edge. So I would dictate that would be closer to a tweener than a true face. But, when this man wrestles, he doesn't leave anything off the table, period. This man wrestles until he can't wrestle anymore.
So like he's got the, speaking of three-headed dragon, he's got the 3 essentials.
Yeah.
You got the gimmick.
Yep.
You got the wrestling ability.
Yep.
And you got the fan support.
Yeah. And I'm going to add a 4th. Triple H is kicking himself in the ass every single day. He looks at AEW and he realizes what he lost. Because to be honest with you, if Swerve stayed in WWE, there would be no Cody Rhodes in WWE.
I don't think that they would have given Swerve the chance to do what he's doing right now.
Vince wouldn't, but Triple H would. Triple H has mentioned several times when he's been asked, is there a specific wrestler that you wish wasn't let go? He is talking about Swerve. He beats around the bush and he doesn't name it by name, but it's Swerve. Because right now, Swerve is the biggest thing in wrestling right now. Swerve is basically your Black Hulk Hogan without the racism.
I can say this with 100%. I can say this with 100% confidence. If Swerve stayed in WWE, he would not be what he is today in AEW.
I don't think so.
I guarantee.
I think if Swerve ever goes to WWE, he will be even more gigantic.
Mm-hmm.
Because they will use what he's done in AEW and make it part of the WWE.
I mean, here's the thing. You're seeing now Penta. Penta debuts in WWE, and the needle is all the way over there. And it's dropped quite a bit. He's not getting the huge ovation and the huge pop that he got when he first showed up. And that's their biggest acquisition. I think Rey Fenix is a way better wrestler than Penta, but...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're putting the spotlight behind the wrong brother.
Yeah, I agree 100%. But when you're dealing with, Swerve Strickland, imagine Swerve at a 75,000 seat capacity arena for WrestleMania.
Yeah, this Swerve, yes. Yeah. But I'm telling you, if Swerve had stayed in WWE, he's not what we see right now.
No, I don't. It's hard to put him in that position where he was at the time. Like how does he make that?
All you have to do, and I'll say this now. Listen to everything that MVP has been saying about Triple H.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah. But I think that's a biased opinion because because MVP has talked about how much he didn't like Triple H when when they were both wrestling full time, he would call out.
I understand it. I'm just saying. My 2 cents.
Yeah, I get you. I mean, I think the problem is that Swerve was with the wrong person in WWE. He was under Vince, and Vince didn't like him because Vince. I'm gonna say it. Vince doesn't like black people. Like, he doesn't like African Americans. It's a well-known fact. Look at how he's booked.
I don't like going this way with the with the color stuff.
That's why I tried to. That's why I just said go listen to MVP. What he said.
But I mean, Triple H. I mean, listen, people hammer Triple H every day, thinking that he's not as great of a creative, but they're doing big numbers. I mean, their ratings, they're streaming on Netflix. I mean, it's huge. And the fact that every wrestling fan bitched and moaned and complained when they kind of said, yeah, we're going back to Vegas next year for WrestleMania, and the amount, it was trending for a straight week in the top 5 on X. It was ranking in the top 5 in Facebook mentions. They are a huge promotion. And to give
no one's arguing that.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of it has to do with Triple H, because Emmanuel, Manny is the guy who owns Endeavor, has said multiple times that he has given Triple H 100% creative control over WWE, and until WWE starts suffering and they go down, and Ari Emanuel has to step in and say, hey, we need to right the ship. It's Triple H's promotion. It's Triple H's program. And he's doing amazing work right now. I mean, WWE is doing really good work, which makes it hard for AEW to kind of climb that ladder and get close.
I mean, to be fair, the reason why he's doing such great work is everyone's comparing him to Vince. So they're literally giving him a bye, saying, no, it's okay. It's not Vince.
Yeah. But say what you want about Vince.
Yeah.
Like, I think he was a better booker than Triple H.
Oh, I don't agree.
I think in the later years, I think Vince was slipping. But overall, his career, I think you look at the work that Vince did, way better than what Triple H.
If you go from 80s until about midway through the Attitude Era, I would agree. But from the midpoint of the Attitude Era until they wiped out WCW and had no competition, all the way through the PG era, look at WWE main roster stuff versus Triple H's Black and Gold NXT. There's a stark difference. People were more energized and more excited to see NXT than they were to see the bullcrap that Vince was putting out, period. I mean, I think Triple H, I think he deserves the stroke. I think he deserves the
I don't think so at all. But that's not what this show is about. This show's about the power rankings. I think we did a great job.
We did an amazing job. I like it.
Great job for what it was. We kept each other in check.
Yeah.
I just find it funny that no one used the veto.
I tried to.
The veto was only there to make you kind of like, when you're playing Scrabble, you like, I could use my challenge. And I'm like, oh, okay. You put a proper word down. It's a threat.
It's a real word. Look it up in the dictionary.
I will, and I challenge you. Well, okay, never mind.
Guys, that's it. We're at the end of the show. What a great show. So, how do you get in touch with us? Multiple ways to do it. But there's a special link down below because we have a thing with DraftKings. Now, DraftKings is really amazing. Not only can you bet on the actual game, you can do prop bets while the game is playing. Is this guy going to throw a strike? Is this guy going to make a free throw? Is this guy going to score a goal? He's going to get an assist. And they cover everything, including AEW. So if you want to get in and get some money in your pocket because you're
and helps the show as well.
Yeah, and it helps the show. It helps us. Go click that link. Go click that link below. Now, all the rest of the links send you everywhere, all our Facebook, all our social media, but it also connects you with getting a t-shirt. That's right. ProWrestlingTees.com/Effin Wrestling, where you can get all of your awesome, amazing, incredible t-shirts, like the one that this guy's wearing over here, Mr. All Effin Wrestling. We have we have tons of shirts. We also do Adrian Adonis's store as well.
Links also there for Adrian.
And it's if you watch our Wednesday night Dynamite After Dark, you know very well we have a segment called The Flower Shop. ProWrestlingTees.com/Adrian Adonis, where you can get all of your Adrian Adonis gear. So click those links, go to DraftKings, open up a new account. I think if you bet $5, they'll give you like $5,000. And
there you go, 5,000.
So you got nothing to worry about. You lose, you get a couple $100 extra to go ahead and start gambling. But gamble responsibly. Gamble responsibly.
Yes.
Absolutely 100%. So
don't gamble with your mortgage or your rent.
Yeah. Don't burn Swerve's mama's house down to get the insurance claim. It's not going to work. He's not going to give you any money. Promise. I'm telling you. So, on behalf of Canada Dry, on behalf of EVP Joe, I am the JFB.
And sometimes in life, things get hard, and sometimes you get knocked down. Sometimes it seems how it's going to be hard to keep going in your life. But I promise you, after that rain comes down and the storm ends, the sun comes out again.
Mm-hmm.
And though you're down, you don't have to stay down. And the illusion that the medical professionals want to tell you is that you don't have a choice. It's depression. No, you can fight this. You can fight this by reaching out to your friends, your family, community, your church. Reaching out to us will help pick you up, dust you off, and put one foot in front of the other. Raise your fist in the air and say with me, put the devil in a sharpshooter and just
keep fighting.
Just so you know, Swerve Strickland is not the Black Hulk Hogan.
Thanks for tuning in. This has been Tony Schiavone for the All Fan Wrestling Network.
Oh, yeah.